Welcome to our few moments together on the Parsha. This Shabbos we have the privilege of reading Parshas Vayeshev. And the highlight personality that is spoken about in this week's Sedra is none other than Yosef, who, interestingly enough, among all the great leaders of the Jewish people, has the additional adjective added to his name, Yosef HaTzadik. Of course, there's Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov Avinu, but there's Yosef HaTzadik. Why is he Yosef HaTzadik? He's Yosef HaTzadik because, as we read in the Parsha, he resisted all temptation to go away from the principles that he had learned at home. Even though he was alone and young in a foreign land, he managed to stick to his principles, and ultimately that led to his becoming the leader in Egypt, the viceroy, and eventually the one who brought the Jewish people down to Mitzrayim to leave in glory, ultimately in Yetzias Mitzrayim. Yosef HaTzadik was so called, again, because of the power of his resistance to the foreign influences, despite the fact that he was all alone. And this Yosef HaTzadik is the forerunner of what our sages call Mashiach ben Yosef. We know that there's a Mashiach ben David, the leader, the king of the Jews from the family of David, that ultimately is going to bring about the peaceful coexistence of all the nations in the world, as the Mashiach ben David takes his place as the so-called king of the United Nations. But Mashiach ben Yosef precedes him. And perhaps what the Torah is telling us is that in order for the Jewish people to achieve a sense of accomplishment and to be the ones, like those in the land of Israel, and the Jews in America, and the Jews in Europe, all over the world, who are capable of being shining lights in the pantheon of nations, that must first be preceded, the leadership must first be preceded by the ability to be like Yosef. The Mashiach ben Yosef, the Mashiach of Yosef HaTzadik, has to precede the Mashiach ben David. And when we speak about this Shabbos, the reading of Parshas Vayeshev, and being Erev Chanukah, don't they actually dovetail together? Because isn't Chanukah the story of the resistance of the Jewish people to the Hellenizing influence of giving up on the traditions of the Torah and becoming more like those who would go away from our solid traditions from the God-given Mount Sinai down to today, with an unbroken chain of faith and loyalty to all of our teachings? And consequently, Parshas Vayeshev, speaking about Yosef HaTzadik and Chanukah, the spirit of light that pervades the Jewish home, when we recognize the uniqueness of the Jewish people, that is Chanukah, that is Yosef HaTzadik, that is the precursor of the coming of the Mashiach ben David. Parshas Vayeshev is filled with this beautiful idea of the ability of the Jewish people to stand up for their own teachings, the principles that have guided them throughout the Golus, throughout all the trials and tribulations and travails that have been beset upon us over thousands of years. The key to the continued light of the Jewish people is by being like Yosef HaTzadik, being righteous in the face of all that tries to take us away from our beautiful traditions. And consequently, that is the message of Parshas Vayeshev. I wish everyone a wonderful, beautiful Shabbat Shalom u'Mevorach, of a beautiful Lichtikin, light-filled Chanukah, a Chanukah of the Mashiach ben Yosef as a precursor to the Mashiach ben David. I must again mention this Motzai Shabbos, the wonderful opportunity to join together with all of Young Israel, Bethel, and its neighbors to welcome Avraham Fried to our shul in a beautiful, beautiful get-together of song and joy on Motzai Shabbos in our shul. Those of you who haven't yet purchased tickets could still do it, even at the door. Please join us at this wonderful event. It should be a great introduction to the Festival of Lights, the beautiful Yom Tov of Chanukah. I wish everyone not only a Shabbat Shalom, but a Lichtikin Chanukah. Good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom, U'Mevorach.